Now there is something that we looked into called concatenation. Concatenation of strings is nothing but it is joining of two strings, and for that we are going to use plus operator. And now let's see what is indexing. Again, every single character in a string is arranged in a particular sequence. Okay, like if you see this example, let academy is equal to skills app. That is what we saw yesterday as well. And here what we are saying, these individual characters which becomes the string are skillzam. Okay, these are the characters. Now every character is indexed starting from 0, so that is the reason string is also called zero index, zero indexed. What it means is it will always starts from 0 index. So s holds the position at 0 index, k is 1, so on and so forth, all the way till 7, and total length of the string is 8 characters. Okay, that we are able to find using length property. That is, you can just to give you an example here. Let me open the web console. Let me clear it off. Let academy is equal to skills, and that is what we saw. And academy dot length will give me what? Will give me the length of the string, like what is the total number of characters present in the string. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, that is what the length property is about. Now we are going to see what is known as slicing in a while when we are discussing about string methods. And just to let you know what slicing is the one which gets several characters or a substring from a string at once. Okay, so slicing is you are trying to extract a certain substring out of the main string. All right, now we will see that how slicing works and everything. For now, let's enter something called as string methods. So guys, string methods is very powerful. Okay, what it means is now what are methods? Methods are nothing but they are functions. Okay, they are functions which are part of a class. All right, now let me show you one interesting thing here. If you observe academy dot, when I put the string variable followed by a dot, then it will give me a list of all the properties and methods that becomes part of the string data type. Like for example, there is at method, there is bold, character at, character code at, there is concat method, there is also font size, index of. Then we also saw just now the length property as well. This is a property, it's not a method. Method is only when that has a function. Okay, so whenever it has a function, that is called a method, otherwise it is a property. All right, now these are all that becomes part of the string methods. So what I'm trying to tell here is JavaScript allows us to work with the primitives, which is primitive data types, like 7 data types that we talked about, as if they were objects. Again, what are objects and everything, we'll go in detail when we visit objects later in our discussion. But for now, understand that JavaScript allows to work with primitives as if they were objects, which means the objects in turn will have their methods in place. So there are many built-in methods or functions of these objects that perform actions or commands on itself. Okay, so that is what we have observed. There is a property, and another example I can give you is dot index of. Now again, index of, let's say I want to search for the index of I. All right, so what it gives me, this method will take a input parameter as a string, and what this index of method will do, it will return the index of I. So here 0 1 2 2 is the index of I. That is what you are going to see here. Hence these built-in methods or functions are performing certain tasks or actions or commands on the primitive itself. Then we also call the methods using a period operator followed by the method name. That is what we saw here. Like academy, this is a period operator followed by the method itself, method name. In this case, the method is indexOf method, which is a string method. Again, there is a parameter that you are going to pass to that method. In this case, we have passed a parameter, which is some extra information that you are passing to this method in order to generate or return certain value. All right. Now, with that being said, what we have seen just now is like numbers also have methods. Even in the case of strings also have methods. Now, for numbers, for example, let me give you one example, like number is equal to 1, 2, 3. And num dot, if I show you this, there are there are not much methods or properties as compared to strings, but there are some. Like, for example, if I want to convert this to exponential notation, which is E notation, okay, I can do that. Like, for example, if I go ahead and say, just recall this, what it is going to give, because number is holding an integer value of 123. So this is converted to exponential notation or a scientific notation with E, which is 1.23 into 10 to the power 2. This is what it means, which is nothing but 123. Okay. Now, but as you have seen here, there are not many methods in numbers or properties. Like, for example, exponential, to fixed, to precision, to string. If you want to convert that to string, value of, again, this is a method, and that's all. That is what we see in numbers. But if you observe the same thing in strings, there are a lot of them. Okay, there are a lot of properties and methods that goes with the strings. So our discussion now enters what is known as string methods, and we'll see some of the very important. If you are familiar with these string methods, then there is nothing that you need to learn extra. Okay, there are like hardly like 14 or 15 of them are there, which are used like 90% of the times. Okay, just remember these methods, and that should be good enough for you to understand the string methods. Okay, now let's enter here. The very first method that I'm going to talk about is slice, because that is what we saw in one of the properties of strings is concatenation, indexing, and slicing, right? So let's talk about what is this slice. The slice string method returns the part of the string from start to end, but end is not included. So what does this mean? We'll see that with a good example. But for now, understand the syntax. It is a method. It has got two parameters. One thing that is entered inside the square bracket, right? This says this is optional. But start is mandatory, but this is optional. Okay. So you have two parameters, start, comma, end. You can give if you have both the parameters given, or you can just specify the start. Now, what is the start and how do we specify this? Let's take this an example. Okay. Let me try to clear it. Let's take our own example where we had this one. All right. Now, academy is equal to skills, and we say. Now, academy dot slice will contain what? Start and end. If I don't give any parameters, then it will return the entire string. Okay. If the slice method does not contain any input parameters, then it will return the entire string itself, which is as if you're saying that you are just giving a copy of it. Like for example, how can we do the copy? Let's say let academy 2 is equal to, I can just give this value and just give this value. What it will do, if I recall academy 2, it will just contain skills app. It is as if like I am copying this to this variable. All right. Now, With that being said, let's see if we pass certain parameters, what will happen. Academy dot slice, and if I want to give a slice starting point is like, for example, if I want to only take the substring of, let's say, skillsam, which starts from, just I want to extract skill out of skillsam, which means I need to start at the 0 position. Okay, I should start at the 0 position, and I should end at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but 5 is not included. Okay, so if I go ahead and give this, it will return me the skill, which is nothing but I am slicing the string out of skillsam, which is basically I'm getting the substring out of it. So here, just concentrate here. What it says, returns part of the string from start to end, but end is not included, which means 0. It starts from 0, which is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but 5 is not included, which means it will end right here, which means it will contain skill. That's it. Okay, so this is what we call it as slicing. Now, again, understand that end is not mandatory. End is what? It is not mandatory. Let's say I want to extract ZAM out of it. Okay, let's see how I can do that. Academy dot slice. Can anyone try this? How can I do a ZAM out of it? What parameters I need to pass, guys? If I want to just extract ZAM.
Sir, 5.
0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5. And then?
Sir, if you give one parameter means it will take ZAM also, right?
Yes, that's absolutely correct. That's absolutely correct. What will happen here is, if we give the fifth parameter, like fifth index, like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is a starting point. If we don't give the end point, it will consider the rest of the string, which is ZAM. Okay, so that is about just giving a starting parameter. If you just give the start parameter, it will start from that position and take all the way till the end of the string. Okay, that's good. Next, next important, again, there is also a method called substring. So what is the substring? Again, this is similar to extracting the substring out of the main string, but there is a slight difference here. So what it does, returns a new string containing characters of the calling string from or between the specified index or indices. So it has a starting point and it has a end point. But what is the difference here between the slice and between the substring? The only difference is the start and the end values less than 0 are treated as 0. Okay, that is the only thing. Like, for example, if you want to extract it like -1, if you want to go reverse indexing, again, that is a different story. But for now, let's consider another example here for working with substring. So let me clear this off. I'll just say what academy contains is skillsam, and academy dot substring, and then I'm going to give a starting point and the end point. And again, if I don't give anything, it will return me the complete string itself. Let's say I'm going to talk about, let's say, fifth position. Fifth position is a starting point, and that will give me ZAM, like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it starts at 5. It will give me the starting point, and end point is similarly. I mean, I can go ahead and say 0, 5. It will give me skill. All right. So there is no much of a catch here. Now, another thing that we are going to talk about in a string method is a substring. This is again another way to extract the substring out of a main string. It will return the position or the portion of the string starting at a specified index and extending to a given number of characters. Here, The catch here you need to understand is number of characters. You are giving the length of the substring that you want to extract. Okay, so the syntax is substring. You have a starting position of the substring that you want to extract and the length of it. Okay, this again, this is a very easier to use. Okay, this is much easier because you have a number of characters you want, number of characters which is nothing but the length you want to extract, and this becomes much easier. Okay, now let's take this the same example. All right, let's say I'm going to take the same example, academy, and here academy dot substring, which is this one, and then I'm going to give the starting point, let's say 5, and it will extract the only, if I have only start, it will take the end of the string. Now let's say I want to extract the length. Based on the length, I'm giving the starting position as 0 and length is 1 2 3 4 5. I want to extract the first 5 characters starting from 0 comma 5. This will give me, so what is this? The first, in the substring method, the first parameter is the start of the index. So where I want to start, I want to start at the 0th index, and then the length of the substring that I want to extract is of 5 characters in length. So from this 1 2 3 4 5 characters end set here, which is nothing but skill. Okay, so this is about substring method. All right, it is about substring method. Now going back to the next interesting string method is replace, or you can say I can say replace or replace all. Both are existing. So first we'll understand what replace does. Replace all, let's understand replace all. Returns a new string with all the matches of the pattern replaced by a replacement. What it means is, you find a string or a pattern. A pattern can be a simple pattern related to whatever you want to find, a substring or a character set of characters, and you want to replace that with another set of characters. That is what you can do in replace all. Let's see that with the example here. All right, let me go here. Let's say I have I want to say let code is equal to, I want to say let's say I love cricket. Simple. This is the string that I have. Now instead of love, I want to replace this, instead of cricket, I want to replace this with football. Okay, that is what I want to do. For that, what I need to do is code dot, sorry, code dot replace all. Then inside, what I have two parameters that I need to pass, right? One is what string or a pattern that I will need to follow. One is cricket. I need to replace that with football. Okay. Sorry, I incorrectly wrote this. QOUT. Actually, it should be QUOT. All right. So if you observe, it is saying I love football. And if I go ahead and see what is happening here, guys, this is still intact. Very important point here. What is it demonstrating to you guys? The original string is not changed. So which means this method, okay, this method will leave the original string unchanged. It will only change in the resultant of this method. Here this method can, again I can go back and change and assign it to some other value, like for example let I can say new quote is equal to, in this way I can specify what I'm saying. Let new quote is equal to, I'm saying pick this quote, which is I love cricket, replace all cricket by football, replace all cricket by football. So it will be replaced and that string will be assigned to new quote. Now if I go ahead and see new quote, it will say I love football. Okay, are you guys understanding this?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
good. And the next string method we are going to see is toUpperCase. As the name itself suggests, it will return a calling string value converted to uppercase. So it will return the string into uppercase. Very simple. Like for example, we have academy already in uppercase, so not much. Let's say portal is there. Let portal is equal to, I'm going to say workzam. So now I want to change the portal dot to uppercase. Okay, to uppercase, and I can do this. It will return the value workzam. Earlier it was in small letters. It is now changed to uppercases, but the original string is still intact. It is not changed. So what I need to do, I need to go ahead and assign it to a new value in order to store that. I can say new portal is equal to, I can give this, and now new portal value will contain capital letters because it has changed to uppercase. The same is the case with two lowercase. Whatever, wherever there is a lower uppercase, it will be converted into a lowercase. Like for example, academy dot to lowercase. That's it. So earlier it is all in capital letters. Now academy is converted all into small letters or a lowercase. Okay. So this is very simple, straightforward, not much about it, but very interesting method that will make the life much simpler when we are using it. Whenever we have to take an input from the user and user might put some capital letters, small letters in somewhere, and we want to have a uniformity, then we can use this to lowercase and get those details. All right, now moving further, trim. Okay, trimStart, trimEnd, again those are additional methods, but major is trim. What it does, trim will remove the white spaces from both sides of the string and return the new string without modifying the original string. All right, it is not going to modify the original string, but it will return the new string, and that we can capture that into a new variable wherever we want to use it. Now let's see what how does that work. All right, let's say uh, let name is equal to, let's say I'm going to add some spaces, 1 2 3 ROHIT Rohit 1 2 3. Okay, this is what I have added. My name will now contain Rohit. If I recall name, this is how the name will look. These many white spaces are there. 1 2 3 here at the start and 1 2 3 at the end. All right. This is what the string name would look like. Now let's go. Let's use this trim method. Name dot trim. That's it. As you can see, it has trimmed the white spaces here and here on the left and on the right, on which is on the start and on the end of the string, both it has removed. All right, this is called as trim method. Now let's say because name is this, there is also a method called trimStart, which means only at the start of the string it will trim, not the end will remain intact. Let's see, name dot trim start. That's it. So as you see, this part of the string is trimmed, but this will remain intact, which is here. Okay, this is trim start. And there is also something called as name dot trimEnd, which will trim at the end, but the start will remains intact. Okay, this is trimStart, trimEnd, and also we have a trim as well. Okay, this is about the trim method. All right, the next is padStart, padEnd. Pads the current string with another string with multiple times if needed until the resulting string reaches the given length. Why? Because length is again a parameter that is going to pass to the pad start and pad end. Let's understand this. Very interesting. What is pad? Pad is like you are adding certain strings additionally at the start or at the end, depending on what method you are going to use. Like for example, if I want to create a string, usually if you observe, whenever you are giving a phone number, I want to have only first four characters as this one, as asterisk, and then I want to give certain number. Okay, like this, in order to not to reveal the entire number. Most of the case in your credit cards when you are entering online, this might be something that you have observed. In credit card, only last four letters will be displayed out of your 12 characters. Okay, this is 4, and this is again the first 4, and then 4 8, 8 plus 4 12. Total out of 12 characters of your credit card, only last 4 will be displayed. And what you observe here is padding, which is padding at the start, and those padding you are giving certain characters, that is what padding string you want to add. Okay, and then there is a target length. What is the length that you want to provide? So let's take this an example here so that we understand it better. So let's say I have a number called, okay, let num is equal to 7. Simple, a number is 7, and for this 7 I want to pad something. So let's say I want to pad not 7. Okay, so James Bond. Let's see how we can do that. I want to pad not 7. All right, so which means I want to pad at the start 2 zeros. We can do that using num dot pad. This is that num dot, we can say pad start. Okay, not this way. Let me give this as a string, because this is a string method, right guys? This is not a number, so that is the reason it is not giving me num dot pad start. And here I'm going to say what is that? I have a max length. Max length will be what? 3 characters, because not 7 is 3 characters, comma. And what is the filling padding string that I want to give? I want to give the padding string as zeros. Okay, so what this will return? It will return me not 7. So what I have did is, using the pad start, I have given the length of the string, which is the resultant string is 3 characters, 1 2 3. And what is that I am adding at the start of the string? I am adding 0 zeros, which is 0 is now here string here. Okay, I can add this to string. All right, now again this can be converted into number back again using the num wrapper object, and we'll see what this wrapper object is later. But now don't worry about it. This is just to give you how you can convert a string to a integer data type, again back to. But now just understand how the pad start works. All right, at the same time, there is also a pad end, like in the same way how we have given pad end, we can also say pad end as well, which will give me 3 characters of length. You are adding 2 zeros additionally at the end. This is like pad end, and this is pad start. Okay, are you guys clear with this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And mind you guys, this is something that I have given, like padStart. You can give anything. You can give asterisks as well, which might say star star 7. Any character, if you want to fill, you can give it. All right. So it doesn't matter what you give it. Like for example, I talked about credit card, right? We can give that example as well. Let's say uh, let credit last is equal to so last four characters are these. All right. And now I want to add credit last dot add start. Now you know credit card is of 12 characters in length, and I want to add certain character which is star. Now if you observe, 4 plus 4 8, 8 plus 4 is what? 12 characters, which represents the credit card, and first 8 characters are masked by the asterisk symbol. Okay, this is again the way that you can work around whenever you are working on these kind of problem statements. You can utilize this pad start and pad end kind of a string method, straightforward, and makes your life much simpler. All right, then you have got another method which is called as at. At is again returns the character at a specified index in a string. What it means is, if you have a string, like for example, academy, let's say, let me clear that, academy is there. Now I want to return a certain value at a particular position. Like for example, if I go ahead and say I want to return the first character, let's say academy dot at, I can give let's say 0. So what it means is, at this index I'm getting this value, and if I go ahead and say 1, it will going to return at the index 1 the character, whatever it is, it will return at the index 2. If I want to return something, 0 1 2, index 2 is I, and I will be returned. So at method will return the character at a specified index. Okay, very simple and straightforward. And next, characterCodeAt. Okay, so one is at and another is character code. So character code will return the unicode of the character, okay, at a specified string. Like for example, let's say I have let letters is equal to A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Okay, something. I have got this string called letters. And here I want to get the character code of A, which is character code at that is because every character is assigned a Unicode in UTF-8. UTF-8 transformation, that is, for every character there is a number assigned. Like for example, A has got some 65 or some number is assigned. Let's see what it is. Letters dot character code at 0. Yeah, 65. So A has a Unicode of 65. Okay, Unicode is coming from what? It is coming from UTF Unicode. Again, Unicode transformation. That is where you can use that every character, like even the special characters, numbers, small letters, capital letters, everything is assigned a certain number. A unique Unicode is assigned. So you can get the Unicode character depending on the index of what character you want to search. Like for example, if I want to take it for B, which is at the index 2, then it is 66. Then for 2, it is 67, and so on and so forth, which is, for character A, the Unicode is 65. For character B, which is at the index 1, the Unicode is 66. Character C, which is at the index 2, has a Unicode of 67, and so is the case with the D here. All right. This is character code at method. All right. And then we are going to see, again, this is a little bit interesting. What it says is split. Split method, what it does, it takes a pattern, okay, and divides a string into ordered list of substrings by searching for that pattern, puts these substrings into an array. This is, you need to underline, you are creating a substrings into an array and return the array. So what it does, if you want to create an array out of a string, this is the go-to method. Okay, so far what you have seen, all these methods were returning either a substring, string, or for that matter on a Unicode. But here, this particular method, which is split, will return an array, a substring of an array. So how does it work? Let's take that. All right. So what it says is split will take what? It will take syntax. It has got a separator and the limit. Okay. So separator is what? In a string, let's say let string is equal to, I'm going to give A hyphen B hyphen C hyphen D. Okay. So let's say hyphen E. What it contains, this string contains A hyphen B hyphen C hyphen D hyphen E. This is the string. Okay, this is the string. Now what I'm trying to do here is I am going to use a split method to work on this string. Let's say split this string with a separator I want to use is hyphen. Okay, now if I use this hyphen as a separator, and if I go ahead and generate it, what it is going to give, guys, this is going to return me an array, which means A. Then it finds a separator which is hyphen, it will split that and put that as a one element of an array. And then the second it will take this as a again array, this take as an array, this takes as an element of an array. So this entire string is put down with the resultant of an array. Okay, so with the separator. And what is this use case? Let's say one of the best use cases, like for example, if you have uh, mm, a element, okay, let's say a string, let string is equal to, I'm going to give a couple of things. Okay, at Elon Musk, okay, let's say tweeted this something. Okay, this is a string. What it says, at Elon Musk tweeted this. Now this split method can capture each element. Okay, each element I can say whether it's existing or not. Like for example, split string dot split array with a, I'm going to split by a space, so simple space. And now what it will contain, this entire string can be put down into 1, 2, 3, 4 words. Okay, now I can go ahead and say, if in a particular string I want to find if there is a Twitter handle. What is the Twitter handle? If there are multiple Twitter handles, I need to extract those Twitter handles. So in this case, I have a string and I need to extract only the Twitter handles. So what I can do is I can use a split method, split that by a space. So wherever there is space, it will put that into a separate element, and now I can work on this array to find if at exist in each individual array using the for loop. Okay, again, that how to do that, I'll take this as an example to tell you when we visit the for loop. If there is, this is just a simple a sentence with a like hardly 1 2 3 4 character 4 words, okay, 4 strings, 4 words that are part of the string. But imagine if it is a big paragraph or a big data set which contains a lot of text, then I want to extract all the Twitter handles that exist in that text. I can do that using the split method, put that into an array, and then work on this array using the for loop and extract if the at symbol exists in this particular word. Okay, that is one of the use cases of this. Okay, are you able to understand this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. And then what else? There is also something called as indexOf and last indexOf. And this is again very often I would encourage, I would be using it. Like what it says, indexOf searches entire calling string and returns the index of the occurrence of a specified string. Yeah. Now let's take this the same example. Let's say I am going to assign this to a variable. Let's say let array1 is equal to this. What array1 contains now? Sorry, array1 contains this array. Now this array contains 1 2 3 4 elements. All right. So what I'm going to do, let handle is equal to, I know it exists at the first position, I'll say array of 1. Inside that I will take the index 0. Okay, so now handle will contain what? It will just contain Elon Musk. Now I want to find that using the index of whether that exists or not. Like for example, handle dot index of, let's say, at symbol. What you just now did is you are searching a particular string whether this substring exists in this string, which means inside this particular string whether at symbol exists. If it exists, then it will return the what? It will return the index of that character, which is at symbol exists at index 0. Now if it doesn't exist, like if I am finding this, then it will return -1 because hyphen does not exist in this string. Okay, hyphen does not exist in this string, which means it will return -1. So always remember that index of that, I mean, if I want to give you a simple example, index of will return the index of the character that you are passing as a parameter. Like for example, academy dot index of, now I want to find what? Find z, whether z exists in the character. If it exists, then it will return the index like 0 1 2 3 4 5. At the 5th index the z exists. And if I want to try and find out w, which does not exist in the string, which means I am getting the value of -1. So index of method will return -1 whenever the character does not, or a string or a substring does not exist in the main string. Okay, now this is a very important functionality. Index of method is a good way. Like let's say you have to find a password. A password has got certain characters. It need to be 9 characters in length, and it should not exist. There should not be a space existing in a in the password. Now let's say let password is equal to, I am getting a password called as let's say ABC at the rate 123 space. I deliberately put a space here, okay, just to check that. All right, it will take. Now there is a inbuilt check that I need to make, that password should not contain a space. At that point in time, I can make use of a index method. Index dot is equal to if a space exists. So if a space exists, then it will return 7. If a space does not exist, then it will return what, guys?
-1.
-1. Yes. So that is what I can go ahead and use in a if condition. If password index of space I am finding, if it is not equal to -1, then continue and process. Otherwise, I can put a message stating the password contains spaces. All right. So that is again a good use case that you can make use of in your programming. All right. Next one is called as search. So what the search says? Search says it searches a string or a regular expression or a regex, we call it as regular expression. Again, we'll visit something later. What are regular expression? There is a good discussion that we can go and do about regular expression and patterns associated with regular expression. For now, just understand that regular expression is kind of a pattern that you are giving as an input for searching a string, like a pattern which says it starts with a substring that starts with z, a substring that contains numbers as well as alphabets. Okay, so those kind of patterns that you can give using a regular expression. For now, for our simplicity of understanding this method, we'll just consider a search string. Okay, later when we talk about regular expression, we'll revisit it and understand and deep dive into it, how regular expression can be given as a parameter as well. So it searches a string or a regular expression in a string object and returns a position of the match. All right. So for that, what is the syntax we have? Syntax is search. Inside that, you can give the search string, what string you are searching for, or search, and you can give the regex, which is nothing but regular expression. All right. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and check for some good example. Let's say I have, let me clear this up. I'll say academy is existing. Now I want to search whether XAM exists in academy, ZAM. So for that, I can go ahead and give a search academy dot search, and then I can give the search string, which is ZAM. Okay. Now, what it contains, this contains, it will return what? The search will return the starting of the index. It returns the position of the match from where this index starts. Like for example, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It starts at the 5th index. That is the reason it is returning 5. Search will always return the start position of the substring. Okay, that is the difference. You also saw the other methods as well, but here search will return the start position of the substring that you are searching for. And then includes also performs the same search to determine whether one string may found in another string, returning true or false. So what is include method? Include method is boolean in nature. What it means is it will just return you true or false. It will not return the first position of a substring like the way search does. It will just say whether it exists or not. Like for example, academy, I can say includes XAM or not. So it includes. So that is the reason it will give me true. And in this search case, it will return the first position of the index of the substring. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The Z starts at 5 because my substring starts at here Z. All right. So this is the difference between the two methods. Both does the search. and starts with, as the name, as the method is very self-indicative of, so starts with what it says, it determines whether a string begins with the character of a specified string, returning boolean values if either true or false as appropriate. So let's say I will give, let's say, I had earlier used one quote, right? Let me use that. Quote was the method that quote was the variable, string variable that used, which was containing I love cricket. All right. Now let's say I want to see whether this string starts with I. Okay, I can do that. Q quote dot starts with, I can say I. So if you see, it starts with I, that is the reason it is returning true, because starts with is again a boolean method which will return either true or false. And if I go ahead and say Z, it will return false, because this quote string doesn't starts with I, it doesn't starts with Z. That is the reason it is returning false in this case. And here it starts with I, that is the reason it is returning a true value. All right, that is about starts. And ends with is similar thing. You can go ahead and say code dot ends with, let's say, exclamation, ends with exclamation, because this code is string ends with the exclamation sign. That is the reason it says true. Okay, in otherwise any other characters other than exclamation, it will return a false value. Like for example, if I say Z, it will return a false value, or it might say T, it will return a false value. All right, this is about ends with. And finally, there is something called as a repeat. Repeat is like you want to repeat those many number of times, like constructs and returns a new string which contains specified number of copies of a string on which it was called concatenated together. What it means is, if you want to repeat a certain string, that you can do, like for example, let's say let greet is equal to, I'm going to say hi. Okay, simple. Greet is equal to hi is the variable. Greet variable contains a string called hi. Now, for this, I want to repeat multiple i's. Okay, I want to say hi, something like this. So I is repeated multiple times. So I can do that using something called as repeat. So how many times I want to repeat? Like for example, let's say let new greet. I'm creating a new value because new variable to store that. So let's say here I want to use the greet method, greet variable, this one. I want to concatenate this variable I am taking, so it contains hi now, and plus, you know guys, this is a concatenation I am doing. And now I want to repeat what? I want to repeat I. How many times I want to repeat? Let's say I want to repeat it using a repeat method, let's say 6 times. All right, so what is happening here? Greet variable is concatenated with another string, which is I, dot method, which means I want to repeat this string 6 times. So 6 times I will be concatenated with hi. So totally I will be 7, and then that value will be stored in new greet. I'll enter and recall what new greet contains. So it contains hi 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, because one I is from the greet, plus this I is getting repeated 6 times. All right. So this is how you can use a repeat method in order to construct a new string, where you have a specific thing that you want to repeat multiple times. You can do that. Okay. So this is about a repeat, and then finally you have something called as match. So what is this match? Match is returns an array. Okay. Earlier, what method we saw, guys? That returns an array. Can anyone tell me what string
Split.
method? What was that?
Split.
Yeah, super, absolutely. So split method will return an array, whereas match method returns an array containing the results of a matching string against a string or a regular expression. All right. This is also going to return a string. So the symbol is match with the search string that you need to give as a parameter. All right. All right. Thanks, guys.